There's a stage in the YouTube journey that almost feels deceptive, where things are not failing, but they're not fully working either. Videos get some traction, a few subscribers come in, engagement flickers here and there, but nothing locks in, nothing compounds, nothing feels stable. It's like building on sand, where every small win disappears before it can turn into something bigger. And in this phase, most creators double down on content output, thinking more videos will fix the problem, when in reality, the issue lies deeper, in how the audience is being filtered, understood, and retained. And once again, the About section sits quietly at the center of this unseen system. Because here's something most people never realize. Growth is not just about reaching more people. It's about reaching the right people repeatedly. And repetition only works when alignment exists. If the wrong audience finds your channel, they might watch once, maybe even twice, but they won't stay, they won't engage, and most importantly, they won't signal to the algorithm that your content is worth pushing further. And this misalignment often begins with unclear channel identity, something your About section is supposed to fix, but often fails to. YouTube's algorithm is not just tracking views, it's tracking behavior patterns: who clicks, who watches longer, who returns, who subscribes. And all of these signals are influenced by expectation. When someone reads your About section, they form an expectation about your content. If your videos match that expectation, retention increases, trust builds, and the algorithm starts recognizing a consistent pattern. If they don't, even slightly, the system reads it as a disconnect, and your growth slows down without any obvious explanation. This is where the concept of retention loops becomes critical, not just within videos but across your entire channel. A retention loop is created when someone watches one video, understands your value, checks your About section for confirmation, and then decides to stay connected through subscription. That loop, when repeated across multiple viewers, becomes the foundation of sustainable growth. And your About section acts as the confirmation point in that loop, the place where curiosity turns into clarity. But for this loop to work, your messaging has to be aligned at every level. Your thumbnails attract, your titles promise, your videos deliver, and your About section reinforces. If even one of these elements breaks the chain, the loop collapses. And unfortunately, the About section is often the weakest link, either too generic, too vague, or completely disconnected from the actual content strategy. Another powerful layer at play here is algorithmic trust. YouTube doesn't instantly trust new or inconsistent channels. It tests them. It shows your content to small groups, observes reactions, and then decides whether to expand reach. And when your channel has a clear, consistent identity, supported by a strong About section, the system gains confidence faster. Because everything aligns, everything makes sense, and the risk of pushing your content decreases. But when your About section sends mixed signals, the algorithm becomes cautious. It doesn't know exactly who your content is for, so it experiments more randomly. And random distribution leads to inconsistent performance. Some videos spike, others disappear, and growth becomes unpredictable. Not because your content is bad, but because your positioning is unclear. There's also a human layer to this, something even more subtle. When viewers feel that a channel gets them, they don't just watch, they return. And returning viewers are one of the strongest signals you can send to the algorithm. Your About section plays a key role in creating this feeling of understanding. It tells the viewer, this space is built for you, and it will continue to be. And then comes the idea of expectation reinforcement. Every time someone revisits your channel or watches another video, their original expectation is either strengthened or weakened. If your About section clearly defined your promise and your content consistently fulfills it, that expectation becomes solid. And once it's solid, your audience becomes loyal, not just passive viewers, but active supporters. But loyalty doesn't happen by accident. It's designed. It's the result of consistent messaging, clear positioning, and intentional communication. And your About section is where all of these elements converge. It's not just an introduction, it's a reference point, something the viewer can return to mentally when deciding whether to invest more time in your content. Another overlooked factor is simplicity. In an attempt to sound professional or unique, many creators complicate their messaging. They use complex phrases, vague descriptions, or overly broad statements, and in doing so, they lose clarity. But clarity is what drives retention. When people instantly understand what you offer, they don't hesitate, they engage. And finally, there's the long-term impact. A well-structured About section doesn't just improve immediate conversions, it shapes the future of your channel. It attracts the right audience, filters out the wrong one, and creates a stable foundation for growth. Over time, this leads to stronger engagement, better performance, and more consistent results. Because in the end, YouTube is not just a platform of content, it's a system of signals, and every part of your channel contributes to those signals. The About section, though often ignored, is one of the clearest signals you can send about who you are, who you're for, and why you matter. And when that signal is strong, clear, and consistent, everything else begins to align. The audience understands you, the algorithm trusts you, and growth stops feeling random and starts feeling inevitable. If you want, I can continue. Part 7, Next Level, Deep Audience Control, Niche Domination, and Viral Positioning Psychology. In the same cinematic style,